We all have a Robin, the person who didn't end up in our lives, but somehow never really left them either. They linger in old photographs, in songs we skip halfway through, in the quiet ache of what if. For Ted Mosby, that someone was always Robin Scherbatsky. He met her, fell hard, lost her, stumbled forward, found someone else. Yet somehow, in all the twisting paths, his heart kept finding its way back. So today, we'll explore a question that still divides fans. Why did Ted never really move on from Robin? Not because he was unfaithful, but because, in so many ways, she became part of who he was, and no new love could fully rewrite that. Ted met Robin on the night he decided he was ready to meet the one. The moment he saw her, everything changed. She became the story he chased. They dated briefly, broke up, stayed friends, drifted. She married, divorced. He fell in love again, lost again. But when Ted finishes telling his children how he met their mother, the story seems to circle back to Robin. Tracy's important, beautiful, but in his telling, Robin is still the axis. And this isn't mere fandom bias. Over the years, critics have questioned whether, for Ted, Robin was ever just another love, or always the love. It's as if every other relationship was measured against the possibility of her. And maybe that's why it stings, because deep down, we've all told ourselves a story about someone we couldn't quite let go of. Ted's love for Robin wasn't built on who she was. It was built on what she represented: hope, timing, and the idea that love can be cinematic. That's the problem with first loves. They stop being people and start being symbols. When reality disagrees, our hearts rewrite the scene. And if you've ever loved like that, where the idea outlived the relationship, then you already understand Ted. Maybe your Robin isn't a person at all. Maybe it's the version of yourself who still believed everything would work out perfectly. Ted's story is haunted by questions. What if timing had been different? What if she'd been ready? What if he waited a little longer? In Season 9's Sunrise, Ted confesses that he broke up with Victoria because he couldn't let go of Robin, because, in his heart, there was no top 5, only a top 1. Those what-ifs echo every time Robin Ray enters his life, as if her presence reopens doors he never wanted to fully close. This isn't unique to TV. In life, we often carry ghosts of possibilities, not just people. They whisper, maybe things might have been different. Ted kept that whisper alive. Ted's what if just had a name: Robin. And maybe that's why we forgive him, because we've all kept a door unlocked for a ghost we once loved. One of the cruelest things about unrequited love is proximity. You don't heal when someone is still next to you. Ted and Robin never completely disappeared from each other's orbit. In the same friend group, shared memories, inside jokes, mutual griefs. In The Broken Code, Ted admits he still harbors feelings for Robin, even as he promises Barney he won't act on them. And maybe you've done that too. Smiled through a conversation, laughed at their jokes, all while pretending you weren't remembering the way it used to feel. Sometimes love doesn't end. It just goes quiet. Ted is built for romantic idealism. He believes in destiny, signs, the right person, waiting. He believes persistence is proof of love. But there's a fine line between conviction and denial. Some critics say Ted's devotion borders on narcissism. He refuses to believe someone might not want him back. In other words, maybe Ted isn't holding on to Robin. He's holding onto a story he wants to believe in, because to accept that she won't come back would be to let go of a piece of his identity. Sometimes the most romantic gesture is the hardest one: letting someone go. And don't we all do that, at least once? Then there is Tracy, the woman Ted was always supposed to meet. So luminous, so genuine. On paper, the perfect ending. For years, it looked like Ted had moved on. But when Tracy dies, the finale reveals she'd been gone about 6 years. And Ted's telling returns to Robin. It raises the question, did he ever really let her in fully? Ted did love Tracy deeply, but Robin was already woven into his emotional DNA. In many ways, she was part of how he learned to love, part of what he was meant to discover. You can love someone truly and still carry a phantom memory alongside. Sometimes closure isn't the door closing. It's learning to live with it still half open. Maybe we never truly move on. Maybe we just grow around the people who changed us. The blue French horn appears first in the pilot. Ted steals it for Robin and returns as a recurring motif through the years, even chained in a restaurant to prevent theft. In the finale, Ted arrives outside Robin's window, holding that same horn. Some see it as a romantic full circle, others as a regression. Josh Radnor, the actor, later revealed he kept that prop. It carries emotional weight beyond fiction. This moment isn't about rewriting the past. It's about acknowledging a part of oneself that never stopped believing. It's not a demand that Robin be his. It's a gesture toward the whole journey, the dreams, the losses, the hope. Since the finale aired, fandom has split. Some felt betrayed. How could Ted end with Robin after Tracy's death? Others argue it was inevitable, that Robin was always central. One Reddit thread reads, "They built Robin and Barney up, only to divorce them and then swoop Ted in between. It makes no sense." Critics have called the ending an elaborate narrative fake-out, saying it ignored character development and felt unearned. And yet, I don't think the story is wrong. It's messy. Because human hearts are messy. Maybe it's okay for love to change. Maybe what we learn from someone matters more than whether we end up with them. Ted's journey isn't about slamming doors closed cleanly. It's about living with the echoes of a life fully hoped for. The reason Ted's story lingers is because it's ours too. We all have a Robin, the one who shaped us, even if they didn't stay. Maybe they made us softer. Maybe they taught us limits. Either way, they left fingerprints we still feel sometimes. And that doesn't make us weak. It makes us human. Ted's story isn't about failing to move on. It's about learning that love doesn't always leave cleanly. It fades, it reshapes, it settles into something gentler. And if we're lucky, we learn to love again, not because we've forgotten, but because we've understood. So maybe we never stop loving our Robin. Maybe we just learn to live differently. And that's okay, because every great love, even the ones that don't last, teach us who we were and who we're still becoming. So, what about you? Do you think Ted ever truly moved on, or did he just find peace with what love left behind? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if this hit home, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and stay for more stories that feel just a bit too real.